Hello everyone, welcome to the Social Club. This week we're going to largely talking around FA Cup semi-finals and the fallout from there. I'm joined by Ped and I'm joined by Ste as well. We're going to start with a little bit of, I guess, fume. The FA Cup Twitter account trolled Harry Kane. Yes. Matt Law from the Telegraph.
He's an absolute fucking bellend.
Yeah, Matt Law.
Yeah, Matt Law's a bellend.
Really?
Bellend.
He takes umbrage because he's like, well, Harry Kane could be upset by that, and Southgate would be upset by that. Why are they looking to upset England's best player? Blah blah blah. I'm sorry, but Harry Kane, fucking for a start, does it to himself because he's made himself a meme in the last month. So he's made himself fair game in that regard. But also, this is how social media works.
It's a newspaper for us. It's the Mail telling a Twitter account to not make fun of England players. What the fuck are they talking about?
I think it was because it was the official account
but who give,
of the Emirates.
But a newspaper saying you might upset players, they'll have a story on the back page in the next month. Guaranteed.
Buying more than one mint aero than he should have.
Yeah, like, coming up, I don't know, he takes injections in his tongue or something to get it fitter quicker or something. There'll be something that upsets the England squad more than a Twitter account just having a bit of a laugh.
Not that care. Not that care.
No, of course not.
Don't confuse me with anyone who gives a shit.
Of course not. But if it comes from one of those funny accounts, or it comes from one of like the betting accounts that do all this kind of stuff.
Banter, lad.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Then you kind of expect it. It was a bit out of character for it to come from that account.
Funny's funny.
If you want to boo a player, if you want to sing about a player, if you want to have a go at a player on Twitter, what's the real problem? If like people like Ronaldo and Messi and the very top players, they just laugh it off, or they take it and use it as inspiration. Yeah. Anyone who can't handle that pressure can't handle the pressure of playing in a football match.
But did you read the actual article? It was so like Kane himself couldn't have written it any better, and he was like, Kane was having a rare off day. You're like...
While his mate has videos of him getting sucked off all over the internet.
The fact that Dele Alli's got a sex tape of him is the only thing that saved him from that celebration being one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. Dele Alli's made a pic of himself there. There's something about having proper celebration, like a thought-out celebration.
Don't dance against United at Wembley. It bites you in the ass.
What is this, the par, do you think?
Well, yeah.
What interesting moment that cropped up after he came up on full-time Devils, Jesse Lingard.
His brother had come over to come and do a fan cam with us because he watches us and Jesse watches us, and it's not about third or fourth one he's done with us. Right. And he comes steaming over.
You still come on this show. You're so humble. You're so humble.
It's okay. I'll talk to you when I get a chance. He came on, and in the middle of the process of his brother being on, Sonny had phoned Jesse, and we had the fans outside going mad, and we had the players inside all crowding around the phone going mad. And I love that. I love that sort of connection, that it matters that much to the fans rather than, and the players are trying to get that connection.
I love the fact that we think that a player literally video calling is the same as having a connection with the fans.
It is, though.
It's 2018.
It is.
Well done. Fast match. Right, I want to talk a little bit more seriously. We're going to talk about Spurs and Spurs' chances of winning silverware, and what they'll need to do that in a minute. But the thing that's come out is the ticket prices for the FA Cup final been released. In category C that were 30 quid, now 45 for the final. The ones that were 80
I don't know where they are,
145.
I have no idea where they are, because I was sat on the roof and mine was 65 quid. And that's now 115 quid.
That was outside.
And
that's
it's
£30 ticket.
That's in that five-a-side pitch. Just
that's fan zone, that. I'm taking myself and Jaden, so I'm looking at 250 quid straight away. Want a programme? Do you want to get a pie while you're there? A pint? Or whatever they do, chicken nuggets and chips.
Is it right, just to take our fan hats off for a second, which I know is difficult, is there a degree to which it makes sense for it to be more expensive because it's a final of a tournament?
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
Why nearly double then? A 77% increase is absolutely scandalous. And if you take out all the freebies that get given away for the FA family, the stadium probably still makes the same as it makes for the semi-final. But it's all the hangers-on that come in that want to get to a final, and the neutrals that take away seats that us lot should be having. Like, I've been to every single cup game this season. I should get an FA Cup final ticket. I don't know if I can get an FA Cup final ticket.
Look at the semi yesterday between Chelsea and Southampton. Seats everywhere, and I'm not having a go with those people because it's an expensive day, and it's getting made even worse. And that justification to go up the price being that much. I mean, the prices themselves from what they were even last year, the year before, they go up every single year. And I say this every year. Every year it's someone else's problem, and as fans we haven't yet got together and said, you know what, enough is enough on this. And this should be the next, I think, big issue. As football fans, we need to get together because
I don't know what there was a couple of years ago.
It's always
when we played Palace, but it wasn't that.
No. I mean, listen, it's been 6 years since we've been to a semi-final, and the prices were nowhere near the same for that. And what's the difference? Wembley itself is 6 years closer being paid off, and the NFL are fucking spending millions on it every year. So I'm not saying it should be getting cheaper, but as football as a whole is getting slightly cheaper for fans.
The freezing ticket prices in the Premier League aren't either. Yeah. There's been things, not definitive steps, but steps have been taken. And you're right, it takes the piss that you can sit in the same seat to watch your football team play a game, and it costs 77% more to do it. It's not those fans that they're preying on. They're preying on the people who want the experience of going to an FA Cup final. They're trying to prey on the people who just want to come to a FA Cup final and will pay with the
getting them tickets.
It's not for them.
No, I know. Listen,
the final's not for them. It's for the two teams who get there. It shouldn't be for anyone else. I know this is. We say the same thing every day. It's not for those people. There's no neutrals in an FA Cup final. There never should be. But it's the FA Cup, and they go on about not devaluing it, and they're devaluing it themselves.
Yeah, it's okay when it's Man United and Spurs, and it's Chelsea and versus another top 6 club. You're gonna fill Wembley for a semi-final. But the magic of the FA Cup. Is it devaluing it to have a stadium that's three quarters full for that? When
they don't give a toss, mate. That's the top and bottom of it, because there's going to be 30,000 people in there paying 144 quid, right? Yeah. So they're like, and what? There's empty seats up there. All right, well, we didn't sell another 10,000 tickets for 144 quid, but we've made how many million here just on the back of that one? They don't give a toss.
It's a piss take, I'll put piss take. Well, listen, if it affects you, let us know in the comments below. If you've had a cheap ticket and you're now being priced out of a final,
it's affecting my wife because she ain't getting a birthday present.
That's commitment to the cause, if nothing else, mate.
It's on her birthday.
Do it yourself. Oh, no. To be fair, I'm missing my wife's birthday coming back from Rome, so I know that one. Right, let's talk a little bit more about Spurs and the fallout again from getting knocked out. Before we do, let's get Flav's perspective on what's going down at top.
Spurs have lost again in the semi-final, 8 in a row. I think that's a record. Gutted, absolutely gutted. But Man United defended brilliantly, just could not find a way through them. We had a lot of possession, we dictated the pace of the game, but as we've seen many, many times, that doesn't guarantee anything. It was tough seeing Sanchez score. Obviously that added an extra level of heartache to see that. I thought we had it. And it's taken away again. And, I think ultimately it shows that Spurs do need to spend. Daniel Levy in the last 10 years has spent £2 million of his own money. All the rest of it's come player sales. Now's the time to invest, because Pochettino's going to look at it and go, well, what more can I do? We have to invest in world-class players. And we have a good setup. People will come. If we get in the Champions League this year, we can attract these players, but we've got to pay. It's the way the game is. So, who knows? Gutted, but we move on. So, I'm still proud of the team. We did well. We played well against them, but you can't be gallant losers every single time. We need to find a way of getting over the line. You can't keep getting in these positions and bottling it and blowing it away.
So, gents, that's a record 8 consecutive semi-finals.
I love that they broke their own record.
Lost. Yeah, a record broken that was previously held by Tottenham Hotspur at 7. The issue they've got, though, and I think Flav makes the point well, Spurs are punching above their weight. There's a limit to which, look, the teams that win silverware, the teams that win big silverware,
like Leicester,
don't let Leicester ruin the argument for forever and ever. Because if you do it the Leicester way, you do, and the Wigan way, you do it. That's how everyone would do it, and those teams will win it every single year. The point is, it is possible to do it without spending big bucks, but more often than not, the big trophies are won by the teams that spend the most money.
Ignore the spend. Look at that 11 on paper. That Spurs 11 minus the goalkeeper is supposedly better than this United team in every single department. You've got the best striker in the world, then you've got Ali Eriksson behind him, you've got a strong midfield that defence is better than our defence, easily, but they're not able to get them over the line. I don't like Pochettino's attitude to the Cups. They're not going to win the Premier League. They didn't even really put a challenge in for it at all this year. They're not going to win the Champions League. So why not go and win an FA Cup? He said it wasn't going to instill a winning mentality. What a load of rhubarb.
Yeah, I know, but ultimately, it's not like they didn't go for that game. It's not like they did put a weak inside out against, just they put a good side and they've lost it on the day.
It's what he's coming out and saying about it.
But okay, fair play. But what my point is not necessarily around the FA Cup and the FA Cup semi-final. The point is that Tottenham Hotspur, where can they go? Where can that team, how far can that team go?
They've got to buy a winning mentality at some point. They've got to go out there and buy a couple of players who've been there, done it, seen it. They've got a team full of players who've not won anything. And they've got to go and change that.
Run by a manager who's not winning.
Exactly,
anything.
so they've got to go and change that by buying a couple of top players. They've got to the point now where I think they've squeezed everything out of those players and everything out of the way of they work with their finances. They're going to have to go and spend some serious money now. Because there are places all over the pitch where they can improve. The goalie, the full-backs, there's a lot of places. But they need to go out there and go, we need to buy a winner. We need to go and buy someone who can instill that winning attitude. Kane is not used to winning anything. Dele Alli hasn't won it. None of those players have won it. Anything.
Player of the Year awards.
Yeah, I know. But you
Come second in Young Player. Can we talk about that? Oh my God, why is he even getting nominated for Young Player of the Year?
Yeah.
He's 36. Well, he will be by the time we win something.
By the time, yeah, no, it's pathetic, that, isn't it? And because he had no chance of winning the main one, and they probably clearly thought he has a better chance of winning the Young Player.
He put pressure on.
Congratulations, Leroy Sané, by the way. What Man United have done is they saw that issue of your experience goes quickly. You know, your experienced players fade quickly, and you've got to replace us. You guys went out and spent big and bought in not just the manager, but also players with that winning mentality.
Only
Spurs.
Zlatan.
And Pogba. Liverpool have had this as well. That's where, you know, and why we might yet fall short in that regard. Having Klopp having won a couple of Bundesliga titles will help in that regard. But the thing is with Spurs is then it's not just about, because if no one else evolved this summer, their team will be better next year because the players will be a bit older. They'll have had some more experience under the belt. Ali will be a better player. Kane will be a better player, etc., etc. But they don't, because Man City are going to spend big again. Arsenal will be forced to spend big with a new manager in the summer. Liverpool will go again. Chelsea will spend big again. Everton will come from the other side again. I'm not saying you'll be up there. There's a lot of teams who are going to spend big money in the transfer window, and it's going to make them more competitive.
Isn't it?
Watch out for Wolves.
Listen, we started this last week.
Are we the ones putting the pressure? And I say we, I mean everyone outside Spurs, because Flav started to talk about it, but Flav, generally speaking, just like, I just want to turn up and be entertained. I'm not that arsed. If we win stuff, great, but he's not the kind of guy to be like, what the fuck are we not doing?
Isn't that also like anti-Arsenal fan TV behaviour as well? Maybe, by going, well, we're not like that at all. We're the opposite. We're willing to be patient. Whereas I look at what like the Arsenal fans have done, and I still look at it, and I've seen it, I think it was at half-time. What do they want? What do Arsenal fans want? They want to win things. So they're putting pressure on the manager, putting pressure on the club to go out and win things. If other fans don't like that, tough shit. I'd rather have that approach than just sit there and go, well, isn't this fun to sit here and watch us beat, you know, whoever, but then last week when it really matters, get beat. Tottenham fans are falling into that category, going, well, we're not going to do that because we're better than them. Well, that'll get you absolutely nowhere, I guarantee you. You've got, as a fan, you've got to want to push your club a little bit further if they're not willing to do themselves.
It's not even the spend on players, it is the wage spend that's the big contributing factor to people who are successful, particularly in the Premier League. And it is about being able to offer competitive wages, but it's actually not that, because if you can't, I mean, you'll probably see this in a few years maybe, but if you start offering the top wages when they come in, where do you go from there? It's more about being able to keep your best players by paying them competitive. So you bring a lad in on 25 grand a week, fine. Yeah. But if he becomes your best player, you've got to pay him to be a best player.
Especially
wages.
someone like a Kyle Walker, who they got, you know, from Sheffield United, and they paid buttons for him. They would have been paying him buttons. That step up is relative. You know, if he's earning an extra £100,000 a week, that's relative to what they were paying him in the first place. You've got to take that gamble. And Spurs, I think, at times have come up with the wrong narrative. They should have been saying, a little bit like Arsenal, we're building a stadium, we're doing it this way, but they've gone, no, we're bucking the trend, we'll do this, and it's not happened for them, and I think that's where it'll catch them.
Okay, interesting stuff. So do we think, how long till Spurs win a piece of silverware with this approach?
You've got to say they'd be in the hat for the FA Cup or something next year. You've got to. You have to. The team's far too good to go this long without winning something. It comes around eventually.
Spurs fans, if you like the approach of it, there's nothing wrong with that, by the way, because I think we would all rather support football clubs that didn't have to go and spend ludicrous money to be successful. If you can be successful without it, boss, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Drop a like on the video and check back later on in the week for Ask the Club, where we're going to be picking the worst ever PFA Team of the Year and talking about the next manager of Arsenal Football Club.